Good morning, Jodi.
Good morning. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you, and so exciting that we are here for a season 6 kickoff, which if you guys follow the Qnity 8 seasons, you know that season 6 officially starts tomorrow. So we figured this would be a really great way just to kind of get connected for those of you, whether or not you are super familiar with Qnity and utilize the 8 seasons every single day, or you've never really dabbled into 8 seasons. And this is an introduction. This will absolutely be relevant to you. And it's really just designed to help us kind of refocus, get set up for success, look at what we want to accomplish in this upcoming season, which again starts in a day. And Jodi's going to take us through a really powerful exercise. So it looks like it is right about 1 on the dot. So let's just give it maybe like 1 or 2 more minutes, Jodi. I'm seeing people are hopping on, and then we will get started.
Yeah, you bet. It's great to see some familiar names, some familiar faces. And yeah, we'll give it a moment. But happy birthday, Erin. While we're maybe I'll just do a quick sort of introduction to you and I, Erin, for those of you who maybe don't know you or I. So my name is Jodi Ohama. I'm really excited to be here. Like I said, I am a Qnity in Action lead coach. I'm also a former multi-location salon owner. I'm joined by the fabulous Miss Erin. So Miss Erin, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself for those people who may not know you, which is crazy.
Well, I'm really here just today to support Jodi. She is really an absolute expert on this, on lots of the Qnity tools, but I think I'm really here just to host. Obviously, I'm president of Qnity and our Qnity for Schools arm. And Jodi is just, for those of you who don't know the history of Jodi's relationship with Qnity, Jodi was sitting in a Qnity class and at the time was a multi-location salon co-owner. You had 4 locations. And really was like, these tools are changing my life, changed her business, really implemented them. And at the time, this was when the only way to get Qnity tools was you had to go to a class and then you had to go back and implement them, right? And so now what's so great about it is we have a way to say, hey, here's the tools. Let us continue to help you implement them in your business. And Jodi's really been a champion of that. And now she's a lead Qnity coach doing this among other coaching all the time. So so super excited. I'll turn it back to you, Jodi.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, when I started with Qnity, we didn't have the 5 functions planner. We didn't have these execution things. So it's really about taking the tool and like trying to make it work in our business. And now I love that we have the support and then I get to support people to really implement them in the business. So, okay, so let's get started. So all of you who are on the call, hands up, and you can just do like a show of hands on your little Zoom screen. Hands up, like how many of you have a bunch of changes that you would like to see in your business, like systems you'd like to implement, results you'd like to see? How many of you have a bunch of ideas? So just hands up. Yep, I see some hands. Great. Darcy's like, yes, have it. Yeah, and how many, of those ideas that you have, like how many of you have had those ideas for a long time? Like they're not brand new ideas. Again, sort of hands up. Yeah, Erin's like always. Erin, your picture is Tom when you're off camera. So we're looking at a picture of Tom Kuhn instead of Erin. But yeah, like how many of those ideas, like how many of you have had those ideas for a long time? Think about like what has stopped you from doing those ideas. So if you can write in the chat, maybe like what has stopped you from implementing those ideas that you have that you want to implement in your business. So just take a moment, pop in the chat and just share with me, share with us, like what stopped you? Is the chat working? Okay. Lack of time. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, lack of time, busyness, a lot of times when I hear this, when I'm working with salon owners or salon leaders, it really is this craziness, the busyness, they have these ideas they want to implement. They don't know where to start, or like, there's just so much going on. Yeah. And this whole thing, this craziness, the busyness, I love this quote, if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. There's another quote that I really love. It's the best way to predict the future is to create it. That's something, sometimes it's attributed to Peter Drucker or Abraham Lincoln, but I love that, the best way to predict the future is to create it. Execution. Oh, JP just says the chat is disabled. Maybe we can enable the chat, Erin, if there's a possible, if you're able to do that, I'm not sure. Yeah, this whole thing around execution, like the key to execution is about planning. And sometimes in our busy world, we don't take the time that we need to plan. And perhaps we move forward without a lot of forward thinking or intentional planning. So like really, when we're talking about execution, the key to execution is planning. So in this sort of fast and furious, we have about an hour together today in this sort of fast and furious time that we have together. Really, I have some objectives that I'd like you to walk away with. So that we would like you to walk away with. So there are some seasoned Qnity users on this call. There's also some new to Qnity users. So that's great. So, for those of you who are familiar with Qnity for a long time, I'm just going to do a quick overview of a couple of things, but then we're going to really get into to planning season 6. But the objectives for today really is I want people to walk away with this new perspective of an annual calendar, some understanding of why we talk about 8 seasons over 12 months. So I'm going to introduce you to this 8 seasons perspective. For some of you, it'll be an introduction. For some of you, it'll be a recap. I also want you to walk away with some confidence in looking at your business in a structured way, through the lenses, I like to call them lenses of 5 functions. So really looking at your business through these 5 functions lens. I'd also like you to be able to walk away with some clear priorities, like for you to be able to identify some clear priorities of what your business or what your role needs next. For sure, I want you to have a plan to execute those priorities, or at least some of them. And I also want you to walk away like being excited and inspired, that understanding that you can accomplish anything that you put your mind to, anything that you want to accomplish in your business, you can accomplish, as long as you have a little bit of help, focus, and the right tools. So that's what I'd like you to walk away with. So if at the end of this session you have these, would you feel like it's time well spent? Maybe hands up if the chat's disabled. Would you feel like if at the end of the session you were to walk away with these things, would you feel like it's time well spent? Yeah, great. Awesome. Thanks. So so the tools that you need for today will be a 9 grid. So this 9 grid, if you haven't already received it, I think Erin is going to try to add it to the chat. If you haven't already received it, we will be sending it out to all of the registered attendees. So if you don't have this, you can just have a piece of paper, or if you have some blank 9 grids at home or that you're using, you could use that as well. So you'll need this, you'll need a 9 grid, you'll need some blank paper, and you'll need a pen and pencil. That's it. Okay, ready to go. So let's look at this. So again, quick review of 8 seasons, 5 functions. So for those of you who are familiar with Qnity and our systems, you're already going to know this, but those who aren't, I just want to get familiar. I want you to get familiar with these terms, 8 seasons. So 8 seasons, this is a tool to help organize how you drive your business. It's a planning system. We break a year, an annual calendar, into 8 blocks of time that we call seasons versus the traditional calendar of 12 months. Okay, so each season corresponds to a theme or a trend or seasonality, which really helps to allow for seamless planning that's relevant at the time. Okay, each season is about 6 weeks long versus a month. It is like I said, it creates a structure, a rhythm, and visible accountability. So why would we break down the year into 8 seasons? I find that 6 weeks is a really good amount of time to train, to support, and assess new initiatives, if you think about it that way. So it's not only great for planning in advance and saying, hey, here's this chunk of time and this is what's happening in my world, my client's world, my employee's world, but it also is a good amount of time to sort of train, support, and assess. Think about it. The first couple of weeks, generally, the first 2 weeks of something new, a new focus or a new promotion or something like that, or a change in how you're doing things, people may be trying things out. They're trying out the communication. They're maybe feeling a little bit uncomfortable because it's something new. And that first 2 weeks, they're sort of making it their own. the first 2 weeks, the role of coaches and leaders really is to support and train and hold people accountable, really make sure that people feel confident in the new initiative. So that's weeks 1 and 2. Weeks 3 and 4, think about that. People are practicing, they're getting a little bit more comfortable. Maybe they're seeing some results. And coaches and leaders, we're celebrating, we're supporting, we're noticing those things. Okay, that's weeks 3 and 4. Traditionally, at that point, then they're like, oh, okay, well, it's a new month, we're doing new initiatives. Now with the 8 seasons, that weeks 5 and 6, like really, I think of weeks 5 and 6 as sort of the sweet spot. That's when people are really gaining confidence. They're seeing more results. They're being held accountable. They're being able to create these new habits. And it really does, that 6-week cycle helps to make changes sticky. It gives you time to assess and tweak if needed. I love the 6 weeks. I found before, 4 weeks was a little bit too quick. The team couldn't keep up. I couldn't get really in-depth execution. Also, anyone who was resistant to change, if you have any of those team members on your team who are maybe more resistant to change, maybe sometimes those people would just sort of hold back, and they would think maybe, oh, in a month they won't ask me to do this because if it wasn't sticky. So I love the 6. This was such a game changer for me. 8 seasons was a game changer for me in the execution of our initiatives. So 8 seasons really is about how we look at time. Oops. Make sure my slides are projecting. So just so you have a visual, the difference between a traditional 12-month calendar versus the 8 seasons is sort of how it fits in. 2 seasons equals a quarter. Okay, so it really does blend nicely. Again, like I said, each season has a theme that represents what might be happening during that theme. So right now we're going into season 6. This season 6, August 16th to September 30th. This is back to school. It's a really great natural rhythm of learning something new, or maybe you're busy right now with back to school hair or back to school aesthetics. Launching season 6 is a big thing. We're moving out of the summer brain, this sun and fun, to getting back at it, because right now, a key thing about season 6 is the work that we do here really is setting up our final quarter. And our final quarter, if you look at season 7, season 8, generally that's a quarter that has the majority of our revenue, holiday. So 8 seasons is how we look at time. And then we're looking at 5 functions. Now, 5 functions, this is a way to organize the business initiatives and leadership. So this is sort of 8 seasons is how we look at time. 5 functions is how we're looking at the business. All of our duties, roles, responsibilities for day-to-day management and planning in our business really can fit nicely into these 5 buckets. So as I take you through the functions, I want you to think about and jot down just on a blank piece of paper. Think about initiatives or ideas or changes. I asked you that question earlier. How many of you have these ideas that you want to see in your business that you haven't been able to implement, or you just have so many ideas? So as I'm taking you through each function, I want you to sort of think about where might this fit? What bucket might it fit under? And also just jot down some ideas. What are some of the ideas or changes that you'd like to see in your business around each of these functions? So for now, don't worry about how you're going to execute them. Just think about the ideas. So marketing, really what's involved in marketing, of course, web, branding, social media, growth strategy, partnerships, press. So some ideas to think about, thinking about season 6, thinking about August 16th to September 30th, are there any new products coming out? Write them down. Are there any new promotions that you'd like to see? Do you have new services? Are there marketing focuses that you want to have in this next 6 weeks? Maybe an initiative that you'd like to achieve is maybe you want to have an annual marketing strategy. Maybe that's something on your wish list, or maybe you'd like to have really clear branding or identity guidelines. Maybe you want to launch a new client campaign, or maybe it's a new staff recruitment marketing material. So take a moment and write down just some initiatives that you'd like to see in your business around marketing. Okay. Also write down the initiatives or changes that you already know are happening between August 16th and September 30th. So just take a moment. So in marketing, right? Like the social media, chat is back. Amazing. And if you want to post something in the chat, an idea that you have for marketing, pop it in the chat. No, you don't have to, but if you'd like to, you absolutely can. So that function of marketing, those are the things that are covered. Then we look at education. Education, oftentimes we think education is just technical, but if you think about this education function, education is also creative, it's technical. There's also like communication education. Is that something that your business needs? It's business building education. There's customer service education. Think about season 6. What are the training needs in your business? Do you have some training needs in your business? Again, brainstorm, write down some ideas or initiatives that you have that you'd like to see in your business. Some ideas to maybe inspire you or get you engaged might be, what are some classes or training that of would inspire your team? Do you have, maybe there's a training program in your business that needs to be updated or revised or refreshed. Perhaps your initiative is, again, like to plan an annual schedule for class dates and times. Perhaps you want to launch an education incentive program. Or maybe you want to offer leadership development training. Like there's so many ideas in education. So just, again, take a moment just to write down some ideas. And if you have any you'd like to share, pop them in the chat. So education, so really like expands, like, again, sometimes I think we get a little too narrow. We just think education is technical, but education is also like customer service and communication and business building. Great. The third function is human capital. And human capital is all about our people. This is about attracting, engaging, and growing each person on our team. So what are your needs in human capital? Do you have staffing needs? I know a lot of people right now are really recruiting for staff, whether it's guest services, whether it's service providers. So do you have staffing needs? Do you have a staff recruitment strategy? Or if you have a staff recruitment strategy, is there an opportunity to make it more consistent? Is it like something that you're actually doing all year? Maybe you have an initiative under human capital where you want to develop a really clear career path or career plan for each of your employees. Like what is the long-term career path for each of your team? Maybe an initiative is that you want to conduct one-on-ones. What about an engagement strategy? Is there a need to strengthen the employment relationship with each of your team? Are there employment protocols or processes that need to be updated? Maybe you need a clear organizational chart with roles and responsibilities. Maybe you want to consistently share your company vision and values with the team, and celebrating based on those behaviors. Like there's so many things that fit under human capital: recruitment, staffing, development, roles, and leadership. So again, take a moment, write some things down that you'd like to see in your business. And again, if you want to pop in the chat, any cool ideas that you have that you'd like to see in your business or implement in your business, pop them in. Right. Let's go to operations. Now, operations sometimes is not the sexiest function. It's my favorite function because I think there's so many things that fall under operations. So this is a big one. Operations is a big one for season 6. Like I said earlier, we're prepping for season 7 and season 8. So much of the work for holiday happens here in season 6. So thinking of operations, what we're talking about in operations is like our customer service, our reception, it's inventory, it's our technology, it's facilities. When you're thinking of initiatives, like, are there holiday promotions? Like right now, are you planning like what you want to promote in the holiday season? Sometimes you have to do those orders now. Those holiday orders, are you bringing in different swag or different tools or different, add-ons, boxes, packaging, all that sort of stuff? Sometimes that has to happen here in season 6. And then other initiatives and operations, are there any inventory adjustments you need to make? Are there inventory items that need to move? Maybe you need to do a incentive or promotion on some inventory that's been sitting for a bit. Are there, when you're looking at the facilities, are there repairs and maintenance that need to happen to get you really, prepped for the busiest season? Are there opportunities to leverage technology in your business or to better streamline your business? Are there opportunities to make your business more efficient and sustainable? Is there a need to update an employee handbook, procedure manual? Yeah, there's so many different things here in operations. Sometimes people forget about this one. So again, take a moment, write down some things that you'd like to see in the business or some ideas that you have. Great. And then finally, let's go to finance. So these 5 functions, finance, this is the 5th function, and around the function of finance. So this finance is all about the cash management, it's cost structure, modeling, financial reporting. So again, think about some things that you'd like to see in your business. Maybe you'd like to have clear budgets. Maybe you'd like to have a better understanding of your business financials. Do you have a financial plan, including your goals and your benchmarks? Like, do you have an annual plan? Are you putting money aside in savings each month? Is there a system to confirm daily sales and deposits to protect against internal theft? Like, again, there's just some things, some initiatives that you'd like to see around finance. Are your books up to date and correct? So again, just write down, again, any ideas that you have come to mind, sort of write them down so you have some ideas. And again, you can pop them in chat if there's anything that you're thinking of that you'd like to see, that you'd like to create in your business. Okay, so we've gone through time, how we look at time. We've gone through how we look at the business, 5 functions. So how many of you after that now have how many of you now have at least 5 ideas you want to implement in your business? Hands up, at least 5 ideas. Just use your little hands up. Great. Good. How many of you have like at least 10 ideas that you want to launch in your business? Yeah. 20? I still have people with their hands up. Oh, okay, good. So yeah, so, all these ideas. Here's the thing. And I love this quote. I stole this from Laura's presentation. You can do anything, but not everything. A key of execution is for you to understand this, is that we need to work smarter, not harder. We need to narrow down our focus. We can do all of the ideas that all the ideas, whatever you can imagine anything that you want in your business, it can happen, but you can't do it all at the same time. Okay. So it really is about narrowing down your focus and being clear, working smarter, not harder. So think about what's happening in season 6 for your business. August 16th to September 30th. What's the most important work to focus on? Okay. So when you think about that, like, what are the next most pressing initiatives to drive in your business? What would make the biggest impact in your business? Thinking about all the ideas that you have or the changes that you want to make. Okay. What are 1 or 2 per function that you would like that would make the biggest impact on your business right now? Okay, so remember to think about what's happening in your business during this season, or any pressing needs that you have. Do you have new products? Is there a fundraiser happening? Do you have a hiring need? Are there education needs? Are your financials in order? Like, really prioritize. And this will be different for each of you because all of our businesses are different. So, and I do want to say this, like, sometimes it's not the fun thing, but it's the right thing. Like, so when you're really thinking about like what needs to happen in your business between August 16th and September 30th, like, really ask yourself the question, like, what are the next most pressing things? Okay. And sometimes it's not the fun thing. So, in the 5 functions in Qnity coaching, we really do help our clients narrow it down to a maximum of 3 per function per season. And if you think about that, even that's a lot, like 3 marketing, like these are the initiatives that are driving your business. So if you think about like 3 marketing, 3 education, 3 finance, 3 operations, human capital, that's 15 initiatives that we're really using to drive the business. So again, depending on how your business is set up and the support that you have in your business, 15 is quite a bit. So sometimes it might even be just 1 initiative per function. So for this session, we have about 35 minutes left. We're really going to take just like 1 initiative. I want to show you next, like, how you're going to break that down, how you take this initiative and actually execute on this initiative. In coaching, we use this tool called the 5 Functions Planner. So for any of you who are familiar with this, the initiatives that you're identifying right now, those priorities, that's the what column of your 5 Functions Planner. Okay. So again, for the purpose of this session and in the limits of time, we're going to work with 1. So I'm going to walk you through how you can now execute that initiative. So pull out your 9 grid. If you have the 9 grid, Erin may see if she can pop it into the chat to see if you can download it, or it may just go out. We may just send it out in an email. You will receive it for sure. Anyone who's registered for this webinar will receive it. So pull up that 9 grid. And so of all the initiatives that you want to accomplish in season 6, just choose one right now. Choose one and write it in the middle of your 9 grid. So a season 6 initiative is this. So choose one for your business. It could be, to plan your holiday promotions. It could be to adjust your apprentice training. It could be, just choose one idea and that you think would make a big impact on your business. Okay, everyone have one? Great. Actually, if you can pop your initiative in the chat, I'd like to see what you're each working on. So just write the initiative that you've chosen. Write it in the chat. I'd like to see what initiative you are working on for season 6. What's something that's really going to make an impact in your business? Is the chat working? Budget clarity. Great, Darcy. Thanks. Holiday planning in advance. Yes, Christy, right? So it doesn't just sneak up on you. I know. Yeah. And we'll send out the 9 grid after session. No problem, Erin. Thanks. Holiday all squared away for the year. Yes, great. A lot of new spa staff need to get the work out to get them booked. So promotion, spa focused. Awesome. Thanks, Ashley. What else? Yeah. So like, this is really great because again, and I love this work. This work is customized. That's why with coaching, when each of your businesses are different. So this is why it's so key to like really prioritize, like of all these things you can do, what's the most needed for your business? Great. So the next step, so we've identified your priority. Now we want to break it into small steps. So let me show you how to do that. Take that initiative and I want you to identify small steps for maximum execution. So you're just thinking about one initiative. So let me give you an example. And I want you to consider key steps to execution. So say you have, so you're going to, in the middle of your 9 grid, you're going to have that key initiative. On the outside, you're going to have small steps that will small key steps to that execution. So if you think about it, it's like, so say you have a staff recruitment strategy. So some small steps and examples of small steps might be, okay, well, I'm going to set up a school visit schedule. I'm going to set up some time to actually, I'm going to organize that in advance, a schedule where I could go and visit the schools. I'm going to have an in-house event where I'm going to invite a bunch of people. Maybe I'm going to have an educator do a show, or maybe it's just going to be like a in-house get to know us event. I want to make sure that my online application is really easy, that people can apply easily online as a small step. Maybe staff testimonials. I'm going to ask the rest of my staff, like, why do they like working for us? Maybe a small step is, I need to have an advertising budget. I need to know how much I can spend on ads or advertising. Maybe I need to take the time to write compelling ads. Like that's a small step that needs to happen. Maybe I want to have company swag. Like maybe I want to have some cool keychains or water bottles or something that I can drop off at the school. So people really, they think about my business when it's time for applications. Maybe I want to have some marketing materials that speak to why us. So think about it. It's not when you're thinking about small steps, like really think about, what would it look like? What would it look like to fully execute a staff recruitment strategy? What are all the pieces in that staff recruitment strategy? And again, if you have too many steps, like maybe your initiative, like maybe you have like a ton of steps like that might need to happen. You might want to break this down into 2 parts and tackle one part at a time. Okay. So make sure also that so that the work doesn't get bogged down, make sure that each step can actually be completed. So it's not like it's not like a big picture. It's like, okay, like, can I actually create marketing material that says why us, that really speaks to why us? Yes. So make sure that each step can actually be completed. Here's another example I'll give you on a social media, a social platform posting schedule. So this is again, taking an initiative, going a little bit smaller even and saying, okay, so I want to have an initiative that I want to have a posting schedule Great. Some small steps that I would need to do in order for that to happen is like, okay, I need to verify that the accounts are set up properly. I need to create a team to help build content. I need to create a calendar for frequency, create a needs list for us to create content. I need to decide on a budget for post boosting, setting brand parameters for each image, create salon takeover program for stylists, create InstaWall. So again, take that initiative, break it down into small steps. Okay, so you have your priority, you've broken that priority into small steps. So take some time to do that. And if you get stuck, pop in the chat and we can help you out. So for like holiday planning in advance, for some of you wrote that. So like maybe it is for holiday planning, it's like, okay, maybe it's develop the budget for holiday. Maybe it's find out what my distributors' holiday packages are. Maybe it is maybe it's ordering marketing materials or creating a marketing message for holiday. Maybe it is a theme, come up with a theme for holiday planning. Okay, so something like that. And there are others too. The spa staff for Ashley says we have a lot of new spa staff. We need to get the work out to get them booked. So maybe it is, maybe you have a promotional plan for spa. So maybe it is like, okay, have a 3-month social media schedule for spa. Maybe it is having in-house spa materials. Maybe it is partnerships, develop partnerships within your trade community. Maybe it is run a promotion. Like maybe it's you're doing a promotion where people win. I don't know if they could buy a ticket, or maybe it's a benefit of a specific behavior. People can enter to win a spa service. Maybe it is so it's just some different ideas there. The budget clarity, Darcy, this is a great one. It is about, maybe there's budget clarity. Maybe it is about, finding out industry benchmarks. Maybe it is like talking to your accountant. Maybe it is looking at understanding, like maybe it's doing some financial literacy. So maybe it's, signing up for Qnity's financial programs or the money programs. Maybe it is understanding, getting clarity on what your spend is right now. Like, where are you right now in your spend based on percentages? Good. Okay, so first step, you've identified priorities. Second step, you've identified some small step. The third step, and this one is often missed, but this third step to execution really is to assign a key person and a date. So when you look at those small steps, think about, consider who in your organization can help you get these steps completed. Are there other people that you can engage and enlist? So think about who that might be, and think about like, what is a reasonable amount of time for that to happen? Like, consider how long it would actually take that person to get those things done. Okay. Normally, like when you think about it, you're like, okay, so, set up school visit schedule. Like, how much time would it take me to do that? I probably just need to sit down and look at a calendar. Okay, I'm going to have that done, by August 30th. By, maybe writing a compelling ad, Erin's great at ads. So I'm going to, Erin's going to write a compelling staff, like a hiring ad. Michelle is going to research some company swag. Like, what might we want to bring in, and like what sort of things could we bring in? And she's going to have a list of that by September 5th. So so you're looking at, you're saying, okay, who on the team can help? And when is a reasonable deadline? And this is so important. Not everything on this 9 grid should have your name on it. Really try and get other people involved as much as possible, if you can. And really do assign a date. It's key to execution. So that's an example, right? And here's an example, again, with that social platform posting schedule. So take a look at it. So looking at your 9 grid, looking at your own small steps, again, think about who on your team can help you with that and what's a reasonable deadline. Write it down on your small steps. Write down who can help you and by what date. Like, actually think about, by what date is that reasonable? So take a time to do that. Take the time to do that. Darcy says, Laura's been my girl. She's walking me through the Qnity way. Yes. So great. Yeah, like, having a coach really does help, right, Darcy? Yeah, I wish when I implemented, I wish I had a coach. That's why I so love helping people now. Yeah, because it does. And you can brainstorm, and a coach helps hold you accountable and capable and is there to support. Because again, life gets busy, it gets really busy. But again, this is about us intentionally leading our business, working smarter, not harder. Great. So you have that. So everyone has their 9 grids, those small steps. They have some key people identified and a due date based on that small step, right? Thumbs up if you're there. Great. Perfect. Okay. So I love this quote, when you look at the sheet, I love this quote, the reason many people don't achieve their goals is because the final result is not clear in their minds. So when you look at your sheet right now and you're looking at this initiative broken down into small steps, you've identified some people who can help you and some due dates. When you look at it, is your initiative doable? Thumbs up if it's doable. Like, can you achieve it? Yeah. Tell me, like, if you achieve that, how would you feel? And post in the chat. Like, how would you feel if you did this, you completed it? Like, how would you feel if you had really clear financials? Like, what might that do for you? Yeah. How would you feel, Ashley, if your spa team gets booked? What would that do for your business? What would that do for you? What would that do for your team? Yeah, you'd feel successful. There would be an ease, right? Yeah, create a great foundation. Yeah, if you had your financials done, it would create a great foundation. And you have this, and it's, it's creating foundation for the future. Yeah, Laura, yeah, game changer. Yeah, when you see it, when you can break it down and you can look at it and you say, okay, is it doable? Can I do this? And if it's not, then we need to break it down to smaller steps. Like, if you're not feeling like confident, like, oh yeah, I can actually complete this, or like my business can complete this, we need to break it down more. We need to break it down into these small steps, these bite-sized pieces, things that we can chew, that we can do. Okay. So you can go through this. So this is one initiative. Again, like I was saying earlier, we take, in our coaching, we take people through and maybe 3 initiatives per function. So 15 initiatives. So we've just done one. So you can go ahead, you can go and do the same process for all your other initiatives that you want to do. Pay attention to what you know is happening already, like the work that's already living in your business, the work that's already going to need to happen in your business. Pay attention to how much new work you bring into the season, because again, you want to be successful at the things that you launch and you want to create some stickiness. Yeah, Laura says the small steps are where I start to believe that I can do the things I thought I couldn't. 100%. Yeah. And I've truly, I started this session with saying, like, you can do anything you want to, you can achieve anything you want to achieve in your business, but it truly is about just, breaking things down into smaller steps. It is about focus. It's not about doing too many things. It really is about, focus is focus. We can't focus on all the things. So it's really about setting intention. What will make the biggest impact on your business now? What are the things that need to happen now? Yeah, I love that, Laura. So the small steps are where you start to believe that you can do the things you thought you couldn't. Great. So please do go ahead, go through and do the same process for your other initiatives. All right. Okay. So through this session, I challenge you to look at your business through the lens of 5 functions and through 8 seasons. I want you to look at time differently through your business. Again, for those reasons, 6 weeks is a really great amount of time to give you this fresh start. It's this new sort of start, creates some structure, creates more of this, it's like it's fresh, it's like new. Also, that 6 weeks is a good amount of time to implement and to tweak and to gain some confidence, make that initiative sticky. Okay. And then the 5 functions, again, start looking at your business through the lens of the 5 functions. Okay. Like, really because we need to drive all 5 of those functions to have a successful business. It can't just be one or the other. There needs to be initiatives that we're driving at all times for all 5 functions. So I challenge you to look at those. I also challenge you to prioritize. The Steve Jobs quote, focusing is about saying no. This is essentially it. We cannot do all the things at the same time. So sometimes I often say this to my clients, like anytime you're saying yes to something means you're saying no to something else. Okay. So if you're saying yes, I can do this. Yes, I can do this. Yes, I can do this. That means there's not enough, there's space being taken for something else. So again, make sure that you're choosing the right things. Also prioritizing and then breaking it down into small steps. So this was a really brief introduction into execution. This quote is great too. Ideas are a commodity, execution of them is not. If you ever want any ideas on what you can do in your business, you can always reach out to me. I always have like a bajillion ideas of like what can be done. But really, like, ideas are a commodity. There are a bajillion things that you can do. Again, executing them is something totally different. So if you want to go further, let us help you. Qnity, again, was a game changer for me and my business. We have a suite of different execution tools that really will help you drive functional performance across your company at all levels of leadership. And these tools really will help build clarity and simplify the work, enforce accountability, provide a direction, provide a measure of success. Like, they're just such great tools. So some of you are familiar with these, the 8 seasons, the 5 functions planner, the 9 grid. These are some of the things I spoke about today. This 13-week planner is a game changer for those of you who have a leadership team. Really helps to organize the work. And really, again, planning is the key to execution. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Erin. Thank you all for being here. Thanks for joining us on this Monday. I wish you all an incredibly successful season 6 and 7 and 8. And I hope to see some of you in Qnity in action. Thanks, Erin.
Thank you, Jodi. So hopefully you guys were able to really get a taste of this. And I know we've got some Qnity veterans on this call, and we've got some Qnity newbies or Qnity dabblers, right? And so I think my favorite part about 8 seasons and 5 function and really all of the Qnity tools is there's always a next level. There's always a place to go deeper. And no matter how experienced or unexperienced you are in Qnity, you can always use the tools to go deeper. And so that's why we're really, really excited to invite anyone on this call. I know we have a couple Qnity in Action members already. So for those of you that already are, thank you. I know Nina's on here. I know we've got a couple of others that I can't see right now, but this allows you to really join a community and go deeper with each of these Qnity tools on another level in your business on a very frequent way. And what's amazing about it is you'll get so much different support. Jodi, if you want to go to the next slide, there's so many different levels of support. And we've got our next community start date starting September 26th. So you're going to want to enroll now because we do have a cap on this. But what you'll do is you'll be able to go deeper with the fabulous Jodi Ohama for this particular member community. So what it'll do is you'll have a 90-minute discovery with Jodi, where you'll actually look at your business on the 5 functions and really kind of take a hard look at where you stand on each of the functions. Look at the 5 common gaps in your business and really start to build out a plan in terms of what you want to see accomplished. Then once a month, you'll have a 90-minute community call where it'll be a formula just like this, but you'll all actually be on camera. Leaders are welcome. So it's not just for owners. Any other leaders can actually join those sessions. And you'll be with a community of max 10 other businesses, really implementing the Qnity systems within their own business. And then you'll also have one private session a month with Jodi to make sure you're really moving the needle on each of your unique goals and really customizing it beyond the community sessions. You'll get access to Jodi via email. You'll also have a secondary Qnity in Action coach as support, as well as Jodi, which is amazing. I think Shara is going to be on this one, right, Jodi?
No, this one, I think it's, I have Ashley, I think.
Oh, Ashley, fabulous.
Changed, yeah.
So Ashley would be your Qnity in Action support coach on this, which would be amazing. You'll also get Qnity workshops for your team 2 times a year. And you'll also get access to a full Qnity toolkit. So all of these tools we're talking about, 8 seasons, 5 functions, 13-week planner, which is like a hidden gem that nobody knows about until they join Qnity in Action membership. It is so powerful. I'm like, it just, and really at the end of the day, I really believe if we can solve the execution problem, that trickles into all other areas, right? Because if you're not executing, it really impacts the finance function. It really impacts all, it impacts your ability to grow. It impacts your ability to actually recruit talent. So this is so exciting. I really hope you guys will consider taking a look at this program and consider joining. For those of you who are not, I just put the link in the chat box where you can just type in your name and email. For those of you who are actually watching this session on the recording, we will have more information in a different email. But for those of you who are live, go ahead and click the link, and that's where you can enter for more information and we can give you more details. So with that, we hope to go deeper with you in your business. For those of you that are new to Qnity, for those of you that are already in this program, thank you so much. And hopefully you've experienced some of the magic that both Jodi and I have when we really implement the tools.
Yeah, yay. Yay. Have a great season 6, everyone. Have a great season 6.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Reach out if you need me. I'll also put my email in if you don't have it. And happy season 6. Wishing you a successful season 6 with lots of execution of initiatives. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.